Now, if you haven't been feeling like yourself, your hormones may be out of balance, and there is an easy solution. Here to explain is Dr. Russell Bartels from Vitality Bioidentical Hormones. Good to see you, Dr. Bartels.
Good to see you. It's good to be talking about bioidentical hormones again.
Yes, we're focusing kind of in on the symptoms. You know, there's two ways of knowing that maybe they're out of balance, either symptoms or the conditions, right?
Well, actually, it was great. A couple months ago, Dr. Oz was on your show talking about the importance of balancing your hormones, and it was great to see him endorsing the type of work that we're doing. And so, you know, if you're having a lot of symptoms that, you know, you just think are part of the normal aging process, you might want to take a step back and say, you know what, maybe there is something I can do about it. And the symptoms can be very basic, like I'm just slowing down, I'm tired, and not feeling the way I used to feel, losing interest.
Overall fatigue, like, I'm just getting older, I'm tired, right.
Lack of interest in the things you used to do, lack of interest in going to the gym, for instance, or having relations with your partner. And so the symptoms are numerous, and it's just a matter of identifying them in yourself and coming to talk about them.
Yeah, we were looking at some of the symptoms. They're foggy thinking.
Foggy thinking is a big one. Thank you. Yes, and migraines even. But you know, just not at work or in your family, just not being able to make the decisions that you used to make as quickly, and just hey, I'm in this fog or funk that you need to break out.
But yeah,
of.
We always write it off to just we're getting older. Yeah. But then there are some conditions too.
Absolutely.
Is that a sign that
well, you know, a lot of times the symptoms can be signs of conditions, and sometimes it's menopause. I mean, everybody is familiar with using hormone therapy for menopausal women. Symptoms like having hot flashes, night sweats, things of that nature. But it's not just for treating menopause. There's andropause for men. There's improving conditions like fibromyalgia, body aches and pains. It improves diabetes. Actually, I've seen some interesting results in Alzheimer's patients where they just kind of start to awaken in their conversations and thought processes. And there's very little downside to getting your levels checked, balancing, supplementing with very safe bioidentical hormones like testosterone, estrogen, progesterone. Thyroid is a big one. And checking the vitamin levels like vitamin D. And getting all of these, you can't just supplement one thing. You need to kind of get everything working in synergy to make you feel better.
Sure. And how do people take them? I noticed you brought one of the pellets here. Is this pretty common?
In my practice, probably about 90% of the patients receive their estrogen and testosterone in the form of these little bioidentical pellets. They go under the skin, very easy, with a little numbing injection. We place them under the skin, and for the women, they last about 3 to 4 months, and for the men, about 4 to 6 months. They dissolve completely, and they're made from plant-derived bioidentical hormones.
So there's no having to worry about taking a pill or cream, but
there
are those options too, though.
Yes, we want to work with the patient, see what's going to work best for them. But there are creams, patches, there's oral formulations, but we prefer to go through the skin, whether it's a cream, a patch, or ideally a pellet. The pellets mimic how the body would do hormone regulation like when you were younger. Instead of putting on the same dose every day of a cream, for instance, the pellets sit as a reservoir and your body draws what it needs. And you can't duplicate that in any other method.
If someone's watching right now, what are some reasons they should come see you? I mean, they're thinking, oh yeah, I kind of have some of that.
Yeah.
Maybe I should.
I think the biggest thing that we see in, say, in the 30s and 40s is fatigue and foggy thinking and decreased sex drive. Those are some of the big ones. But, any of the things we listed, like migraines, for instance, and just, I can't put my finger on it, but I don't feel like I did when I was in my 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. I mean, we treat patients from their 20s to the 80s and beyond, and so proper hormone balance can really tune you up a bit.
So don't sit there and think, I'm just getting older, I've got to deal with it. You don't have to live with it if you don't like the way your life is going right now and you're feeling down. There's things you can do.
So you got to get off the couch, come in and see us. We'll get some labs done and get a plan together for you.
Perfect. Thank you very much for being here this morning.